stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. I'm in a really good mood. I'm in a really good mood. Of course I am. Well, rewatchers, I'm not a fan of dead air. So, let's see, giving up center stage. Where will we be reading out today? 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 70. Page 70. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but sometimes if you listen to people and do what I do, you'll notice that sometimes we slow down our talking. It's because we're trying to get something ready usually. But our talking is yeah, and then we hit that 3-minute mark soon. And we will get started on this giving up center stage. I got a really good feeling. And we talking a lot of humility. Because the 12 by 12 is on step 7. It's the 7th month. And the daily reflection likes to talk about whatever step and or tradition of the month. They tend to do that to kind of coincide, keep things consistent. Yeah. You want to know why that works really, really well? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. And these are like observations. So when we start the steps, like let's say, we're usually starts in January. So like when we get to the daily reflections and stuff. Okay. So the first step will start in January. And that's fantastic because we get most of our members in January because of the holidays, because people got DUIs. The holidays tend to make things worse, those types of things. So it's actually good news. All right. So welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. It's named after Dion from Dion the Belmonts. Yeah. It was one of my grandma's favorite singers, and she had a crush on him. So she picked my name. I love my grandma. Please say hello if you're here. If you're here for the live or the rewatch. And last but not least, if you can, please share the video. If you feel like it's going to help other people, please share it. If you think it's a crock of shit, don't share it. There you go. Here's the thing. I just don't like telling people what to do. It's my stuff, so please share, please share. I'm very much a God time kind of person. I've seen a lot of people come in and out of this with what I do right here. Because I'm not the only person that does this. There's some other people that kind of caught on, but they don't go live every single day like I do. Okay? It's usually like once a week, something like that. But anyway, they tend to disappear. And that has a lot to do with what we're talking about here. Yes, we got to get the word out. Okay? But you can't be the alpha omega, man. You're not. I'm not. Certainly not. I'm always looking for more people to join so that you can get a different experience. Because if we just rely on mine, we're all dead. You have to find your own experience. You got to find your own pathway. Okay? And there's a set of directions to help you with that. And it's not going to be easy. But if you keep it simple, then maybe you'll have a chance at not making it harder for yourself, if that makes any sense. All right. Step 7, humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings. Humility is right in there. So first word, humbly. Humbly is the action of being humble. Since this step so specifically concerns itself with humility, we should pause here to consider what humility is and what the practice of it can mean to us. Indeed, the attainment of greater humility is the foundation principle of each of AA's 12 steps. So it's the foundation principle, right? So the very first principle in AA is humility. It goes with step 1. You would think that would be willingness or honesty. No. Because what we're doing when we do something humbly, what we're saying is, my name's Dion and I'm an alcoholic. That's what we're talking about. Okay? Yeah. So humility is the very first principle. And what that does is it makes it the foundation of all the principles. In other words, none of these other principles will work unless you have humility. Hey, Gary, good to see you, brother. I was on a roll, so I don't want. Indeed, the attainment, okay, for without some degree of humility, no alcoholic can stay sober at all. Nearly all AAs have found, too, that unless they develop much more of this precious quality than may be required just for sobriety, they still haven't much chance of becoming truly happy. Without it, they cannot live too much useful purpose or in adversity to be able to summon the faith that can meet any emergency. Yeah, they can't. Actually, let me rephrase that. I couldn't. That's exactly where I was at. I could not bring into sufficient force into myself to be able to handle those problems. Now, it's usually pretty simple on what needs to happen. There's a set course on how things get done. Right? So the reason I was a half inch more taller is because I went to the chiropractor. It was awesome. I feel so much fucking better. Wow. Okay. Nearly all AAs have found, too, that unless they develop, no. I already read all that. Humility as a word and as an ideal has a very bad time of it in our world. Not only is the idea misunderstood, the word itself is often intensely disliked. Many people haven't even a nodding acquaintance with humility as a way of life. Much of the everyday talk we hear and a great deal of what we read highlights man's pride in his own achievements. So when I say things like happiness is not the goal, or when I talk about success, there's probably somebody saying I can't make it. No. Just another email. I love those emails. It's just, your package is not going to be delivered from Amazon. I didn't fucking order anything. You're full of it. I get more of that crap than actual legitimate sales calls. Like, I'm going to tell you something. I hate being fucking pitched. I don't like it. Okay. Now, if that person's right in front of me, great. But like I was, I was looking at some stuff earlier, and God, this is so off topic. But it was for gut stuff, right? And they're like, "Well, we've got a new way." I'm like, and then they want me to sit there and listen to this fucking video for 15 minutes. So if you can't get to the point, I don't want your shit. I can decide all on my own. You don't need to. And I was in sales for so long that just uh but what it does is that our humility, okay? So earlier when I was saying that there's a lot of people that I've seen that have come before me. Some are still out there, but they go, I mean, I don't know how many times yeah, let's do stuff together, let's do this stuff, and it just never works out. Okay, the intention just isn't the same. The intention isn't the same. I stopped doing. The only person that I will podcast swap with is Monty Man. He's the only person I'll do that with. Okay, because he followed through on what he said he would do. See, the deal was you come on my show, then I come on your show so that we can promote each other. But when it's one sided, what does that tell? It tells me you don't have any humility. When you have a person like me, I mean, it's not a secret that I run trudging together, but I don't act like an owner, like most owners. I am the owners, and I just don't care. It doesn't matter. Everybody in our group has a different talent. That talent is just as much needed as any other talent that we have in there, including mine. And when it comes to speaking and doing things like this is something I'm very good at. Actually, it didn't just happen. I put a lot of work into becoming a good speaker. Right? By nature, I'm a very, very shy person. I mean, I'll sit here and talk. You come over to my house when I hear something personal, probably not going to talk to you much. I'm Gary. When it comes to my personal life, I want it personal. But on the other side, right, with that. So let's take a look at that, right? Because isn't that really kind of putting me center stage in a way? Yes, it is. So I also need to be willing to learn how to have everyday conversations because I'm not really that good at it. And it's because I don't care. I did, you know, the world's all fucked up. It's been that way since I was born. It's just different people saying the same thing. They're saying the same thing, just about a different thing. Okay. The war on drugs is coming back. You ain't gonna win that either. It isn't about the war on drugs, it's about prevention. If you want to do a war on drugs, get rid of alcohol. That is one of the worst drugs that we have. I would rather you were smoking weed. I don't know that much about any other drugs, so I can't say. So I like the downers, not the uppers, man. That too much. Yeah. You know, you do a line at, 9 p.m. You have a talk with somebody. It's now 5 in the morning. I couldn't do it. No. So in that case, there's humility going on, right? But really, what is humility? Humility is asking God for help. In this situation, and what they're talking about with step 7, we're going to humbly ask Him to remove all of our shortcomings. Remember, we made this agreement on the 3rd step. We agreed that we'd be willing to go to any length to recover. You already got sobriety. You don't need to be willing to go to any length to be sober. You need to be willing to go to any length for your recovery. Sober is something Sober is something very different. Okay? Saw me, Nikki 6 says, I'm 22 years sober. He's not in the program. He's just a guy that decided not to drink anymore. 22 years sober. Right? That you don't see the ting. Look for the eyes. Always look for the eyes, man. All right. Why do I balk at the word humility? I'm not humbling myself toward other people, but toward God as I understand Him. Yeah. Humility is between you and God. You and God. You and God. Just between you two. That's it. Not scary now, is it? Not as scary. Because by this time, you probably know your God kind of well. He's done some neat things for you by this time. Humility means to show submissive respect. And by being humble, I realize that I am not the center of the universe. Okay. Yes, I'm going to talk about it. Gary Pryor knows what I do. He's been listening to me for years, so, right? That I am not the center of the universe. I love being the center of attention. I do. On my terms, of course. But I love it. I like making the whole room laugh. It's just fun. Okay. But I have to be very careful. And that's an awareness about myself. Okay. So what I did, and Lori's the one that taught me about this, was so I created arenas for different things for me to talk about. That's all I did. This is one of those. This is an arena where I can talk about my recovery, my experience, because I have this huge need to give everything that I have away. When I was drinking, I was consumed by pride and self-centeredness. I felt the entire world revolved around me and that I was the master of my destiny. I never bought into any of that crap. I knew better already. I knew this when I was 15. Okay? That the world didn't revolve around me. See, by that time, I had already been in and out of a psych center, been seeing therapists for a little while. So, and it's true. Here's the thing is even that knowledge right there did me no good while I was drinking. I could not bring it forth. I had the knowledge, but nope, I would still do everything I could to be, here's the thing. I didn't really want to be the center of attention. Why? Because then people would pick on my drinking. Okay? That right there is a soul sickness. Yep. So, humility enables me to depend more on God to help me overcome obstacles, to help me with my own imperfections, so that I may grow spiritually. I must solve more difficult problems to increase my proficiency, and as I encounter life's stumbling blocks, I must learn to overcome them through God's help. I missed them. Too many mosquitoes. Quick vote. Would you rather have the mosquitoes or the moths? I kind of want the moths back if it gets rid of them. Because moths eat mosquitoes. I don't know. Daily communion with God, that means prayer, demonstrates, and I'm probably off on that. It probably means more than that. But to keep it simple, that's what I'm doing. With God demonstrates my humility and provides me with the realization that an entity more powerful than I is willing to help me if I cease trying to play God myself. I no, that's the first thing that we do. Because then we also need to stop fighting. That's part of playing God. Also, when we're fighting, we're playing God. We're saying we know better. Whenever we have an opinion, we're saying we know better than God. That's what we're doing. Okay. That's why I try and keep my opinions here to a minimum, but I always prerequisite them also that this is my opinion, it's not fact, right? Mandy, you son of a, I'm just wrapping up. So, and I don't have the energy in me to go for 15 more minutes. Uh, so, real quick, next week I'm going to be talking with, or in the next few days or whatever, I'm going to be talking with Jake, our web designer. Um, and now we got a marketing guy coming on, and yeah, we're actually adding on another podcast. We are. It's called The Hope Shot. My friend Mark Hope does it, and he says, "Hey, why don't you take over mine? Why don't you take over mine, help me out?" So, and this guy knows how to market, and they're not charging. There's things in works, right? Um, but my point on that was like Mandy, maybe I could, if like I sent her a text, she could have gotten here earlier. Mandy, just an example. So with the new website, what's going to happen is when I go live, you're going to get a text message saying I'm live. Then you press the text message and you'll go straight to it. Right? Right? Right. Then it'll all be in-house. I don't have to worry about Facebook. I don't have to worry about Twitter, WordPress, TikTok, and all that other crap. All right. It's cool stuff. And the cool thing about it is nobody's talking about money. We all understand that, the fruits of our labor are the fruits of our labor. Is this thing torn? I don't know. It's just a shadow. Okay. It's going to be, still looks that way. All right. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Peace out.